Welcome to my last Christmas DIY. Today we're going to be making these little Christmas trees. For this project, you will need super thick yarn, wire cutter, this cone thing, a glue gun, oh yeah, and these items: toilet paper roll, tape, scissors, and wrapping paper. So first you're going to wrap your toilet paper roll with wrapping paper. Fold the excess inside the roll, tape it down. When all the wrapping paper is taped down inside, you're going to cut 8 slits just like this. You're doing this so you can make this cone shape right here. Here's a better example of how I did this. So right here I'm just cutting 8 slits and I'm just trying to figure out how to make a cone shape so my wire has some support when I build my tree. I'm just grabbing all the pieces here and making a point and using some clear tape. Once it's secure, put it away and grab your wire. This wire keeps its shape pretty well, so it's great for this part. I also got this at Hobby Lobby for half off. Now grab your cone. You're going to grab your wire and wrap it around this cone. This is going to help you guesstimate how much wire you might need for your tree. I wrap mine around about 5 times. This also depends on how big you want to make your tree. Once you figured out if you have enough, this is where you straighten your wire. Grab your very thick yarn. Right here, I'm going to just try to thread my wire in the middle of my thick yarn. This is extremely hard to do. So basically I'm just sliding my wire the best I can through the middle of this yarn. As you can see, this is not perfect. You can totally see the wire through the yarn if you look closely. Since this takes a while, I'm going to show you a different technique, which is way easier. Anyways, once you've completely covered your wire with this yarn, you're going to take it and you're going to cut the end and just bend the wire around the yarn. I'm going to do that to both ends of the yarn, just like this. And now I'm just going to grab my styrofoam cone and I'm just going to wrap it around. Now I'm just squishing it all together just to make that tree shape. Now grab your paper towel roll and put it right on top. So here's where we would glue it. But first I'm going to show you this easier technique on how to get your wire and your yarn together. So you're still going to use the same technique to measure the length you need. I'm grabbing the end of the wire and yarn and literally twisting the wire around the yarn until we get to the end. This way is easier and faster and I definitely recommend it. But you totally can see your wire a little bit more. It's not really a big deal though. When you finish, just cut your ends and make sure you fold your wire ends down. Now grab your cone and wrap your yarn around it just to make that Christmas tree shape that we're going to use. Again, once I'm happy with the shape I have, I'm going to grab my toilet paper roll and I'm just going to transfer it there. And here I'm just adjusting. And I don't like the top, so I'm going to just rewrap it so I get this perfect Christmas tree shape that I really want. When I'm done with that part, I'm just gonna squish my tree together so there's no space that can be seen. So this is what it kind of looks like. If you're not happy with the shape, you could totally rewrap this wire. It's totally forgiving before you glue it. So here I am doing an extra squeeze, and here are my other 2 trees that I've made. So now we're just going to move on and we're just going to glue all these spaces. So right here I'm using a glue gun. Be very careful because I burned myself actually doing this. And you definitely want to do this carefully so you don't miss any sides. You don't want your tree to fall apart. You definitely want to use plenty of glue on this. You also want to make sure you glue the top of your tree together. So here's an example of how easily these can be separated if you don't glue them together. This is also why we use the toilet paper roll as a structural support for this tree, because it's so easily crushable. I've actually tried to make this tree without any support in the bottom and it was just collapsing. So also, if your toilet paper roll is kind of flimsy, just add more paper inside of it. This should help with support. Anyways, this is what my 3 trees look like. You could totally stop here if you want, but I'm just going to keep decorating them. Here I'm just adding a pom-pom I had from my last DIY. You could definitely just use your glue gun and just glue it on the top. Since I had extra wire on top, I just shoved it through. Work smarter, not harder, right? That being said, for the gray tree, I just grabbed some brown thread and wrap it around the tree and then glue the ends to the bottom of the yarn so no one could see it. So this is what it looks like. For my last tree, I'm just going to use these old beads I have and these old pom-poms, and I'm just going to glue them randomly around the tree just to make an extra decoration. Again, be very careful because I did burn myself numerous times during this part. To decorate my tree, I used random things I found laying around the house. I honestly did not buy anything extra. I was also planning to go cut out a bunch of cardboard stars and ornaments for this part, but I got too lazy, so that's why I'm using these beads and balls. Once you're done, these are what your tree should kind of look like. Here I am just staging them to make them super fancy. Okay, thanks for watching. Bye.